Can you see my slides now?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Thing. So here in La Union, so I just came from a meeting. So after this, you don't have any topics already, right? For the
No, doctor.
hemoncology
After this,
lectures.
we
What
just
else?
still we are having one pending lecture with Dr. Melora, doc.
Okay, but for my topic is
Yeah,
only
we
one
all are done, doctor. All topics were done.
already, right? So after this, okay, sige. So we need to start. Okay, so neoplasms of the lungs. So actually, there are a lot of things that you need to know, especially on the neoplasms of the lungs. Okay, so it's either we call it a benign or malignant. Okay, so benign, there's a chance of survival. Okay, you can do surgery, you can do chemotherapy, or probably radiotherapy. Okay, but they say it's malignant. Okay, so the chances of survival is a bit less. Okay, so either improve the quality of life of patient. Okay, either need to explore some alternatives in order for his our life. Okay, tips. The lung neoplasms, so features, diagnosis, etc. So from the term itself, okay, so there's an abnormal our body. Okay, so can be but can be benign or can be malignant. If we say classification of neoplasms, TA, okay, lung cancers. Okay, take note in the examination, most common is the non-small cell lung carcinoma, okay, which is around 85 percent of cases. Okay, so if we say small cell lymphoma, it's around 15%. But take note, those under the non-small cell lung carcinoma, which actually, okay, they're common. Okay, the adenocarcinoma. Okay, so if you are a smoker, can be squamous cell carcinoma, or probably the one that has poor prognosis should be the large cell carcinoma. Okay, but do not underestimate the small cell lung CA, although it's around 15%, then this can be aggressive. Okay, so in a sense that this aggressive, so if the patient was diagnosed, okay, so you count in and then started to have more symptoms, like for example, shortness, okay, or probably this patient, okay, may start to, okay, undergo uh, a lot of changes in his body. Okay. So if we say the secondary lung tumors, okay, so this is what we call the metastatic, okay, lung tumor. So it can be from other malignancies, okay, mets already. Okay, so if we say benign, so these are the things we need to at least remove to surgery. Okay, then after that, you can actually, the patient can live more and more years, okay, compared with the first and second classification. Okay, so looking at it, okay, it's the leading cause of cancer death worldwide. Take note the ages around 55 to 75. Usually, most common about the smokers. Okay, but take note, okay, the survival rate is around 20% only. Okay, in 5 years. Okay, so take note of the risk factors. Smoking. So if any one of you smokes, okay, take note. Okay, this is around 85 to 90% of cases. Okay, so very difficult if you have the risk factors because okay, there are a lot of things that we need to actually do. Okay, so take note of the risk factors: smoking, radon if you're exposed from work, asbestos. Okay, you take note of the slides. Okay, so what are the symptoms? So as I told you, it's more of the um, respiratory symptoms. Okay, like for example, if you're already giving antibiotics or antiviral or antifungal, but still there's a persistence of cough. Okay, or probably the symptoms like persistence of cough, hemoptysis, there is the presence of systemic symptoms. Okay, probably it can actually increase the stages, okay, of the carcinoma. Okay, take note, okay, there are also that can be the paraneoplastic syndrome, okay, can be because of the hyponatremia, or we have the Cushing syndrome, okay, and then the Lambert-Eaton myasthenic syndrome. So take note of these three paraneoplastics. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, the symptoms, okay, patient, okay, see that this patient is having cough, persistent, and then you need to differentiate. You have your differentials. Can be an allergy, or can be because this patient, okay, has current infection, or possibly because this patient has tuberculosis, or possibly this patient really has a cancer. Okay, so you can do, okay, if you have an inclination that you can be cancer, okay, you can support, okay, your diagnosis. Okay, you can do the usual bread and butter, which is the chest x-ray. Okay, we do a closer look, which is the CT scan, or sometimes the MRI. So once you notice that there's a mass, okay, we can do some tissue sampling and then send for histology. Okay, or possibly you can do a lot of things. You can do a higher, okay, histopathologic, the TNM classification, which is very important, especially in staging. So take note of the tumor size, node involvement, and the metastasis. Okay, so there's some for the staging, okay, especially the small cell carcinoma, okay, that can be confined in one area, or possibly it can be traveling to other organs also. Okay, so it's your assignment already to see the TNM. So when will be the treatment? Stage 2, okay, same TNM classification, very important yan, especially if you go for residency. 2, so either you do just merely the surgery, or you can do combinations of radiotherapy, chemotherapy, or probably if you're in the higher centers, we go for the targeted therapy and immune therapy. Okay, but if for example it is a small cell lung carcinoma, you can do, okay, which is the mainstay of treatment, the chemo as well as the radiotherapy. Okay, or in some, okay, because of the obstruction, you can do what we call a surgery. Okay, so it's better for us to at least diagnose early, and possibly we do to and possibly explore the treatment. So the treatment will actually depend on, okay, patient's well-being. Okay, so if you want to be aggressive, but looking at the diagnosis, it's already okay. Going to palliative, so don't do any aggressive type of treatment. Or possibly this patient is already dying, then you still proceed with the chemotherapy. So there are a lot of things to discuss with the family, or what we call the advanced care to the family. Okay? So let's go to the head and neck, okay, carcinoma. Okay, so very important. Okay, so aside from this patient will present with symptoms of respiratory, okay, possibly you can do others, you can research, okay, on the head and neck, okay, cancer. So that will be your assignment. So take note, okay, so there are a lot of structures from head to neck, okay, the things that can be affected by tumor. Okay, the oral cavity, pharynx, larynx, etc. Okay, take note, most are squamous cell carcinoma. Okay, so try to think of it. Okay, so if we say low oral cavity, what is this? Okay, can be lips, tongue, or the floor of the mouth. Okay, so if we say pharynx, you can see, okay, a lot of cancer and cancer entities or the carcinomas of mucoepidermoid carcinoma, carcinoma. Okay, so take note of this classification because very important, especially if you are looking what type of cancer this patient have. So if they label as head and neck cancer, so what specific okay cancer that this patient have? Okay, take note. This is 7 most common cancer globally. Okay, take note. Unfortunately for us males, 3:1 ratio. Okay, so if, for example, the lung CA is around 55 to 75, so the big incidence of this will be around 50 to 70 years old. Okay, unfortunately, here in Southeast Asia, okay, it's more of the nasopharyngeal. Okay, it's also in China. Okay, take note for the HPV-associated oropharyngeal cancers in population. Okay, so take note of the major risk factors, or possibly those can be head and neck cancer, like for example, poor oral hygiene, or those, for example, those from Trinidad. Okay, they usually do the chewing. Yes, it's been immunocompromised, or those especially working individuals who are exposed to radiation. For the clinical features, so you may have an unhealed ulcer, some lose their teeth, okay, and then you try to look for the other symptoms or the clinical features. Okay, the poor thing or sometimes may have advanced signs, like for example, neck masses, or probably there's associated weight loss already. Okay, or referred pain. Okay, so what do we do? The history as well as the physical examination. And then you have the inkling, do the diagnostic approach. Okay, sometimes you do the flexible endoscopy, or sometimes you do higher magnification. Like for example, CT, CT or the MRI. Or better, if you do the cancer surveillance, you do the PET scan. Okay. So what one thing that is means that is an active carcinoma. Or if it is not lighting up, then probably there's a possibility that you can send the patient for uh, treatment, like for example, surgery, etc. Okay, or chemotherapy. Okay, so One thing that we usually do is either we do biopsy, okay, or do some fine needles, or we call the fine needle aspiration, or sometimes if you're thinking of HPV as a type of uh, cancer, as a risk factor for cancer, then you can do HPV or EBV testing. Okay, so very important yan. And then we have already the tumor size. We have the same nodal as well as distant metastasis. So that is the TNM staging that we usually do. So your assignment, just check the TNM staging for the head and neck CA. Okay? So what do we do? Okay, we call our ENT friends. This is a multi-medical radio oncologist. If it's really an early stage, you can do some surgery or an obstruction. You can do some surgery already. Okay, so for recurrent or metastatic, unfortunately, we cannot do anything. You can try to do the systemic immunotherapy. Okay, for the support speech and swallowing therapy and psychic note for the treatment. Okay, so you're assigned what you call the standard, or we can use what chemotherapy drugs. Okay, so I'm sorry for the disconnection. Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Hello? Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with the presentation. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes, doc.
Okay. So we're thinking of the head and neck. You do the, okay, if you do the, okay, community prevention, you can do this. Okay, you can do some infographics to how to educate your patients. Okay, so prognosis depends on what site. Okay, the patient. So for those patients are sexually active. Okay, and then for the advanced stages, so you have a good quality of life. Okay, so I think this is the last. Okay, cancer of the skin. Okay, so usually, okay, once you're exposed to a certain ultraviolet rays or exposure, okay, so there can be a possible DNA damage. Okay, so take note of the most common sign of cell carcinoma and can be deadly. Okay, take note, and then 16% will be the squamous cell carcinoma of the skin. Okay, so for the melanoma, from the melanoma, okay, so we have the rare skin cancers, the Merkel protuberans, as well as cutaneous lymphoma. So actually, so it's that they usually give out in the examination. I just give the that you can neck surgery, head and neck cancer, the cancer of the skin, okay, and then what will we can usually see, okay, frequent, then melanoma, okay, and then usually UV exposure is the main driver. Okay, so that's the on top risk factor. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, unfortunately, also you have phenotype, there's fair skin, light hair, and eyes. Okay, so then possible, okay, there's a possibility that you can have cancer of the skin. Or for those who are fair and then go and take for a tan, okay, then possible, there's a possibility of this patient may acquire, okay, cancer of the skin. Okay, so we have the genetic and medical conditions, which you can just, this is just nice to know, but you can try to look at the definition of which, okay, the xeroderma pigmentosum, familial atypical mole melanoma syndrome, immunosuppressive drugs, especially the transplant patients. Okay, so if you are actually working, you can okay, take note of the differences between the two. It may come out in the examination. Okay, so they have what we call the rodent ulcer for the basal cell carcinoma. Okay, but if we say it comes from the actinic keratosis, is more of the squamous cell carcinoma. Okay, take note, okay, for the melanoma, okay, we remember the ABCDE, look for the symmetry, irregular border, there's color variation, okay, diameter is more than 6 millimeters, and this is an evolving lesion. okay, for the melanoma. Okay. Specifically, if there's cancer of the skin, you need for our derma friends. But if they don't have, okay, especially if you have the magnifying glasses or magnifying apparatus, you can just check, okay, the picture, okay, of the mass. Okay, sometimes, okay, we send the patient for biopsy, which is the gold standard excisional biopsy. And then we send for the histopathology. Okay, take note, breast low thickness and ulceration important for melanoma prognosis. So this one can come out in the examination. The breast low thickness and ulceration. Okay, and then if, for example, okay, melanoma, you need to know, okay, the extent. So you do some imaging. Okay, so what is the usual thing that you do for uh, uh, cancer of the skin. Okay, we get the lesion, okay, and then send it, or we do some non-surgical options like cryotherapy. We have, okay, so for the advanced, okay, we have the targeted therapy. Okay, so the prevention, you can do some self and professional skin examination. Okay, so if you have friends, okay, they're my friends, so you can just go and ask for your uh, screening. Okay, so especially for the higher or high risk individuals. Okay, take note, if you have the BCC, has an excellent prognosis. Okay, SCC good, but the risk of metastasis is high. Okay, but if, for example, may have melanoma, it may actually have either good or bad prognosis, depending on how this patient will be diagnosed at early stages. Okay, so if we see some thick, ulcerated, or metastatic, poor prognosis already. Okay, so I think that's my last slide. Okay, so you open your cameras, please. Okay. So this is just I think if we go deeper,
Doc, your audio is breaking,
we
doctor.
can use the Harrison, okay, in reading, okay, the different types of cancers as well as the lungs. Okay, so hear me clearly already? Okay, so the
Yes, doctor.
coverage
Now we
of
can
your
hear you.
yeah, the average, the coverage of your exam will be from my topics. Okay, for from testicular, okay, to okay the approach with cancer patients with the infection, okay, the uh, lungs, etc. Okay, so all okay, you need to supplement it with your Harrison. Okay, it's better, especially those who are most common. They usually bring that one in the examination, as well as what are the common chemotherapeutic agents which will be given, okay, to a certain individual with a different type of carcinoma. Okay, so actually hematology and oncology lectures are quite new for you, okay, but once you know already the what we call the TNM classification, and then how to diagnose such cancers, and then it's easier for you, especially if you're giving the chemotherapeutic drugs. Okay, most common that they usually ask is, okay, the side effect of the drug. So it can does it cause hair fall? Does it cause any changes as in the urination, or probably does it make you uh, uh, weaker? Does it make you duration? Okay, so that's why I keep on telling you the history and the physical examination which will give you around 70 to 80. So once you detect it early, very good, so that you can actually prolong the life of our patient. Okay? Especially if the mass is just confined to a certain area. Okay? It's easier to treat, it is easier to prolong the life of the individual. But if, for example, you keep on postponing the treatment of the patient, or that is your neighbor, and then you try to ignore, okay, the symptoms of this patient, then once it blows already, so it will be difficult already on their part. Okay, so I asked everyone, okay, to review your lessons, especially on Hima Onco, our topic, supplement it so that you can have a higher score in my examination. Okay, so when will be your exam for the Hima and oncology lecture?
Uh, Doc,
Do you
it
know
will
when is the schedule?
confirm tomorrow morning, doctor. That first we will have hemo or onco lecture or gastroendo lecture. Doc. Tomorrow we are having Dr. Ajali's lecture tomorrow morning.
Do you know the
By the
schedule?
end of the lecture, we will get to know when we will have the exam. Everyone, you can leave now.
Thank you, bye.
Yes, Podo.
Kulwan, take a deep breath.
Customer patient.